Hey friendos, it's DW. Ludum Dare is in a handful of hours. I'm going to get back to that right away. And I want to give you a demo of what I've prepped up based on what I've learned so far from my self-evaluation, the player feedback, and all this stuff that's been rolling around in my head. So let's get into the demo and make this quick. So let's do this thing. Alright, so let me give you a quick walkthrough of the game so far. So Ludum Dare starts tonight, so I didn't want to get into the content. I wanted to wait for the theme to get announced. So what I've been trying to do for the past week is kind of put together a foundational kind of a template project with a handful of mechanics and just the working guts of a game project. That was really what my focus was. I did produce a little animated sprite here that is, I threw him on Twitter earlier. It's kind of a little me, and I did that in A-Sprite. Other than that, I've been using Godot with Mono and C# pretty much exclusively. And so yeah, that's it. I got the basic physics going, nothing too crazy here, but each one of these kind of blocks was a testing block for me, and we'll talk about that in a sec. The big feature is you look over in the top right corner, right up there, you can actually see a timer. It's just kind of a clock going up and up and up. This is kind of my little gameplay mechanic that I was playing with, and this is what I've been toying with in my head about kind of getting stuff done, getting out the door. We're going to see what this does, but I like the idea of having a round or a time mechanic where you have to explore a little area and see what you can do with it. And as for the exploration part, that's where this comes in. Although this is just a solid brick, if I walk up to this face, it looks kind of funny. Push spacebar, I can go, hello from Inkscript. I have my dialogue system, my favorite dialogue system, of course, Ink. If you know from way back in the day with Car Scientist and Vagabond Game, I did all this stuff with Ink, and I reintegrated it here. It was actually much easier this time around once I got looking at it. So all I did was I got a compiled Ink script, and I have my choices, and I support that, along with just kind of branching dialogue, which Ink gives me. And on top of that, I added a new feature to Ink that I've never done before. If I walk up to this guy, this is considered an exit door. So I can say ready to go. I can say wait a sec. I can, it comes out of here. But then I go over here, time to head out again, say yep. And you head out the door, and you left. So that's really all I've implemented so far in the game. But I think it's a really solid foundation. Like I said, if you run out of time, it's an arbitrary time that I set it extra long for this demo. But if you run out of time, it's an end of game kind of thing as well. So what am I going to do with all these mechanics? Let's talk about that. So the two learning objectives I set for myself was sound and animation and more visual flair. So the visual components are definitely there. There is animation, and I had my little custom animated sprite walking around, so I did some art. So that's good. I hit that one. The sound was definitely not present. What I didn't demo is I have a branch of the code that has sound effects running, so some footsteps. Real basic stuff, but I did tinker with it. I also did share on Twitter me setting up my laptop to record music on my electric piano. I have an electric piano, or at least my family does, and I use that, and I set up the laptop to do some recording via a MIDI interface. So all the pieces are there to do that music part. Now, whether or not I do that in the game, that's a different question, but I will do the sound effects at the very least because I do have that working. I just haven't merged it into the demo code. What I found that got in my way with respect to the learning objectives was focusing on a game design. Like I knew I needed mechanics. It was great to say that I needed to do sound effects and animation, but I needed game underneath that. All those learning objectives assumed I had a code base or a game to start with. And the reality is I didn't. I had some game stuff, and I could have probably pulled it forward and just dealt with it and started working on it right away. But I have learned a lot since the last Ludum Dare. I've learned a lot since Car Scientist back with the GitHub game off, and I wanted to apply that knowledge to create these mechanics that I've been thinking about for the last while. So it makes it more fun and engaging because I do love my code, but it got me thinking down that line, and I applied the animation and visual elements throughout. So it kind of did complement it, but I did need to, I kind of ignored the sound part for a long time and did some work but never really got it integrated. But that the game mechanics are kind of a core fundamental piece. So although they kind of got in the way, you kind of need a game mechanic to make a game. So, that's how it works. And with that, I'm going to end my lunch break and finish this editing and get this video published so I can start on the Game Jam. Planning on doing a part 2 of this in the near future. We'll see when that gets done, but I am going to capture my process throughout the whole Game Jam, hopefully, and get some content to you out there in the next video. But until then, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you at the Jam. Have a pleasant day and or evening. Take care.